I have high expectations for Gary Sanchez this year, actually, and maybe that's a mistake, but I've been seeing so many tweets and stuff from fantasy baseball. His ADP went down this year from where it was last year, even though he was significantly better last year than he was the year before when he was hurt most of the year and hit like 180 something with 18 home runs. So like a lot of people are considering him a fantasy steal, Gary Sanchez. I think his ADP is somewhere in the 80s right now, and last year was in the 50s. So not that that correlates with his real life performance, but I mean, I don't expect him to have quite how he did in his rookie year, but if he can hit 250 with 35 home runs, then that's a pretty great season for a catcher.
Welcome to another episode of Too Much Pod Tar. As we continue our 30 teams, 30 pods, and this will be with the Yankees. You know, we'll get into some of the news that's been coming out lately. We talked about the last episode, Severino obviously going down, having to get Tommy John surgery, and then we're going to talk more about Stanton, the news of Stanton that came out about him with a calf injury now. Not going to be able to start the season. Or probably won't start the season off. So that's we can get more into that later. But I have on, fellow Yankees fans, fellow scorecard writer, Gio Damico on. First time in a while that he's been on a pod with me. So welcome back.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, and then Johnny Black again, coming back for another one. So
yeah, I'm like a regular.
Yeah. I mean, you're pretty much like that co-host at this point.
Yeah, really. Seems like I'm getting on all the time. Well, now that I'm getting out of work earlier too, I can actually jump on like at times like this. Not coming home at midnight.
Right. But yeah, the Yankees. Obviously, the biggest news was signing Cole this offseason. That was definitely a big thing for them to do. It's Cole, their white whale, as they say. They've been trying to get him since he was coming out of, out of high school. So,
yeah,
trying to stay positive now with these injury news. I'm still trying to stay positive. It's going to be a good season, obviously. So.
Yeah, hopefully we don't see 23 people on the injured list again.
Yeah, well, actually 30 last year.
Was it 30? Oh man.
I think it was 30, yeah. Or it might have been 23, but 30 separate stints.
Yeah, something like that.
Something. But yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on. Like, they have a new training staff this year, and there's still something.
They do? Well, Stevie Donahue's still there.
Yeah. But I mean, he's supposed to be. I thought he was like one of the good trainers, though. So I don't know.
I don't know what's going on with them. I mean, it's even more ridiculous for Stanton because the guy he can never stay on the field, and I guess Severino too. I mean, he was good 2 years ago. Last year he was not healthy most of the time, but Stanton is just. I mean, the trade. It looks like the Marlins fleeced us now, and the Marlins didn't even get anything good out of the deal. So. It looks terrible. And then James Paxton's out till June with like a cyst on his butt or something like that. Some ridiculous procedure that you probably could have had done in October or November, but.
Yeah.
Did the cyst develop later though? Like, I don't know. It's in his wrist actually, but.
Oh, yeah.
It is? Someone said it was on his back. My bad.
No, I'm pretty sure it's in his wrist.
Yeah.
I don't know where I got my news then. Someone told me it was on his lower back.
Probably somebody just trolling.
Yeah, my bad. Fake news, I guess.
Yeah, you can't trust the Twitter trolls.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Telling me that Tommy Pham starting in center field is a stupid projection. Like.
Yeah. I just drafted him actually in the TGFBI league.
Oh, nice.
I grabbed him in the 5th round. I was going to go pitcher, but I went with the 2020 guy. I mean, the dude's got talent. He's got power, speed combo. He's not going to kill me in average. He's going to be hitting towards the top of that lineup too. So,
I can see him leading off even. I mean, maybe either him or Tatis might lead off.
That's a possibility. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, anyway, this isn't the Padres podcast, but yeah.
Sorry, you mentioned Pham. I had to throw that in there.
Yeah. But I think with Paxton, it'll be fine. Like he'll be back by like May, middle of May.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's only supposed to be out for like a month, so.
Yeah,
Still sucks, but yeah.
Yeah, I read something. He's starting his throwing routine like beginning of next week or something.
Yeah, I heard that he was actually ahead of the timetable for once. I guess I'm totally misinformed on this. I don't know where I got my Paxton news because I saw multiple people say it was like on his lower back. So I guess I just don't. Oh, it was probably on Reddit. I probably shouldn't trust Reddit.
Yeah.
But yeah, a wrist would make more sense. But I heard that Severino could have had this Tommy. Not that even if he had Tommy John surgery at the end of last season, he would still miss a significant part of this season. But I heard that they could have gotten a little more ahead of this and done it at least a couple months ago.
Yeah, because they said he was feeling pain after the playoff game.
Yeah.
Right. They might have brought him back too early, or he just got re-injured because obviously. I forget what his injury was before, actually. I know it wasn't another Tommy John injury. Was it shoulder?
Shoulder? I think shoulder.
Yeah, some of the shoulder.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. He just like overworked to get back, and he just, I don't know, he kind of just, they shouldn't have rushed him back at the end of last year. They should have waited it out until this year, and it probably would have been fine.
Exactly. And what's the status on Hicks? Because I know he's got some injury concerns. Is he opening day ready or?
I don't know. He's not going to be ready till probably the same time as Paxton. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm just on the Yankees depth chart. It has no injuries up there yet. But Hicks is another guy. He's signed to a pretty good extension for someone like him. I mean, he's played well, but we need him to play really well this year.
I mean, if he can stay on the field, that's a really good extension. Only $10 million a year, so.
No, yeah, it's a team-friendly extension.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I don't know. So they're gonna have Tauchman in center and Gardner on left, I guess, to start the year.
I would love to see Tauchman starting. He proved himself last year, in my opinion.
Oh yeah. I think
this is going to keep standing out too. I mean, he's not going to be ready for opening day, but does that mean he's going to miss the first week of the season, the first month of the season? Like,
I mean, who knows? They always last year they would give a timetable for him to return. It would reach that timetable. Oh no, it's going to be another 3 weeks. So you never really know what's going to happen. They're saying he might not be ready for opening day. He might not be ready till June. So
yeah.
I think if he's not ready, that's another possibility that Clint could end up being on the opening day roster. I think he will now.
Yeah, I think so too. I'd like to see him. I mean, I know everyone knocks his fielding, but he's still a good player. I'd like to see him up there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they should have just traded him last year at the deadline.
Oh yeah. He was your breakout candidate last year, right? When he did that article.
Yeah, he was, and then exactly. I got a couple of those right, like Ketel Marte. That was probably the best one. Ketel Marte was great last year.
Yeah.
I'm interested in seeing how Miguel Andujar rebounds though from his injury-riddled season last year. He only had 47 at bats, so I'm wondering if he's going to go back to like rookie Andujar, who quote unquote got robbed of rookie of the year, or if he's going to be how he was when he did play last year in the few games and just look like he doesn't know what he's doing. I mean, I expect him to be better, but
I think he'll be good. I mean, obviously it's still early, but he's been playing good in spring training so far. And then they put him in he was playing in right field today. He wasn't too bad. But I don't really think I don't think he's going to be there too much anyway. In right field. I think he's more DH or first base.
Yeah. The good thing about the Yankees is they have a lot of depth where it's like you ask the question of who am I going to start? And it's good when you've got so many good players that you have to make decisions. You just want to make the right decisions. Like almost every position, there's like a case that can be made besides like catcher and shortstop. But third base, I mean, Urshela was so great last year. I see no way how he's not a starter in the lineup every day, and unless he does start in the lineup and just starts going back to how he was before he was on the Yankees. But then you're gonna have to DH Andujar, and what do you do when Stanton comes back, and how do you fit Talkman and Gardner, and it's just a lot of depth, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Yankees have needed it. I mean,
Right.
and plus at least you have guys who can move around the field too, so you can kind of mix and match.
Right.
You have all these guys that only play one position, and it's kind of just straightforward depth chart type stuff. But at least you got LeMahieu who can play everywhere in the infield, basically.
Yeah.
He
Exactly.
can play first, second, or third. Urshela and Andujar at third. A bunch of guys that can throw in the outfield, even with Hicks and Stanton down. I mean, you still have Gardner and Talkman and Frazier and Ford. Like, you know what I mean? So there's enough depth there, like you're saying, and people who can move around too. So.
Right. Exactly.
Another key thing too is like the 26-man roster now. That's going to be huge for the Yankees and a lot of teams. Like now they can have that extra guy, that can play anywhere, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's probably what teams are gonna be doing is like having a utility guy as that 26 guy.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
The Yankees that'll probably be like somebody like Tyler Wade for the Yankees.
Yeah. Tyro Estrada maybe, and I have Tyler Wade's he's been in the organization for so long, and he's really fast and he's good in the field. It's just his hitting. I mean, he had 245 in limited appearances last year, which isn't too bad. I would make the case for him to be the utility guy, but he's a career 197 hitter, so if he really wants to be a guy that can play somewhat often, he's got to hit a little better than that.
Yeah, it's always good to have speed off the bench, though, too.
Yeah, definitely. No,
the fact that he can run and stuff, I mean, because Yankees have a couple guys that don't really move too well, so.
Right. Yeah, sure.
All
right. I have high expectations for Gary Sanchez this year, actually, and maybe that's a mistake, but I've been seeing so many tweets and stuff from fantasy baseball. His ADP went down this year from where it was last year, even though he was significantly better last year than he was the year before when he was hurt most of the year and hit like 180 something with 18 home runs. So like a lot of people are considering him a fantasy steal, Gary Sanchez. I think his ADP is somewhere in the 80s right now, and last year was in the 50s. So not that that correlates with his real life performance, but I mean, I don't expect him to have quite how he did in his rookie year, but if he can hit 250 with 35 home runs, then that's a pretty great season for a catcher.
Oh
yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I'm banking on him for having a good season this year. I think he'll definitely perform.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to seeing the starting lineup with Judge, Stanton, and Sanchez. We haven't seen that really that much.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I wonder how long we'll have to wait for that. Gleyber Torres too. He's hit for power.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Luke Voigt.
40 last year. Yeah, Voigt. I really like Mike Ford too.
Yeah.
I think you can platoon those guys. I mean, he had 12 home runs and 143 at bats last year. Mike Ford. That's almost home run per 10 at bats, which is a really good stat. And his OPS was 909. Obviously, his appearances were limited, but he did really well when he was in.
Yeah. He could definitely be kind of a platoon to Voigt.
Yeah. Voigt actually hits righties better than lefties, so it might be more of like a where if Voigt needs rest or something. But I would kind of switch it every other day depending on how hard or how good out of the gate Voigt is. Obviously you're not going to say he has 3 bad games to start the season, so you know what, you're done. It's Mike Ford time. But I would give them somewhat equal appearances until one of them's showing that they're clearly not as good as the other.
Oh yeah.
My
kind of
money
feel
would.
it. Yeah.
I think Voigt's a better hitter than Ford. In
I think he's
general.
a more polished hitter than
Oh
Ford,
yeah.
and he's. I mean, don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. Yeah, I mean, Voit hit 263 with 21 home runs last year. Those are great numbers. So he's a 273 career hitter too. I mean, most of that was with the Yankees last year and the year before. So he's a great hitter. He's definitely better than Ford. I just really liked the power numbers, especially that I saw from Ford last year. He's definitely a good pinch hitting option.
Yeah. Yeah. Plus, too, the Yankees are pretty righty heavy.
Oh yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
It's
Ford
just
having
Gardner,
a lefty.
Talkman, and then Hicks is a switch hitter, and then Ford. Yeah. What do you guys think of the rotation now? Even going into the season without Severino and without Paxton until May, you still obviously have Garrett Cole, who's, in my opinion, best or the second best pitcher in baseball. I'm very biased towards Max Scherzer still being the best pitcher in baseball. But even with Cole on my team, Cole's 1 or 2 right now. And then you got Tanaka, who's played really well. I mean, honestly, throughout his career, he had a great year last year. And then you have Hap. Hap struggled. Hap's another bounce back guy. He really struggled last year, but 2 years ago when he was with the Yankees, he was dominant when they got him from Toronto. And I expect him to not be quite as dominant, but with Larry Rothschild gone, that was an underrated move, getting rid of him. I expect him to be way better than he was last year.
Oh yeah. I think part of the problem last year, he kind of like the juice ball kind of got him a little bit. I think some more of the fly balls went out of the stadium that would have just been out. Like,
Sure.
forget how many. I don't even remember how many home runs he gave up, but he was like, I know Verlander gave up the most, but I forget. I think he might have been second or something, third.
Too many, but because I remember every time he pitched, I was just frustrated. But now I'm going into this season with optimism for him. Hopefully, he doesn't let me down. But I'm also excited for Jordan Montgomery to come back because he hasn't really been healthy. He wasn't healthy last year, and his time has been limited in the MLB because of injury. But when he did pitch, I mean, he's played 37 games. He's got an ERA under 4, and I really like him. I think that he could be a good fill-in guy while Severino and uh, Severino's done for the year, so he's going to be the 5th starter probably no matter what. But while Paxton's out, so I think he's going to be a really good number 5. If he's your number 5, that's pretty good.
Yeah, Montgomery could be solid, definitely. Like you said, he's never had the chance to get any kind of consistent playing time because he's always been either just a fill-in or he's gotten hurt or whatever it may be. And so a lot of times that's what it is with pitchers. They need to get, more so than I think anyone else. Starting pitchers are creatures of habit. You have your everyday routine in between starts, and then every 5th day you start. Like everything's kind of like a rhythm type thing. And not having any sort of consistency, going up and down, being on the IL and stuff. I think that's hurt him. And considering, like you said, he's got a sub-4 career ERA and 37 starts over the past couple of years. Like, I mean, without having that sort of consistency and still being able to pitch fairly well, I think if he starts the season as the number 4 or 5 guy and, sticks in the rotation all year and makes 25 to 30 starts, I think you could see definitely a solid performance.
Yeah, for sure.
And Hap, talking about Hap too, see, he's a guy, like you mentioned, Verlander gave up all the home runs and stuff. Verlander's a strikeout guy. Verlander will give up a solo home run. He doesn't give up a lot of base runners and stuff like that. Hap can't get away with that stuff because he's not a big strikeout guy. He's not, he pitches more to contact than a lot of these other guys too. And that's why the home runs hurt him more. So he's just got to keep the ball in the yard. Basically,
Yeah.
keep the ball down, keep the ball in the yard because he's not overpowering. You know what I mean? Like, he's not going to blow 98 past anybody. So he can't get away with, those home runs because half those home runs come with guys on base. Whereas Verlander, his home runs are like solo home runs. Same thing with Scherzer. Scherzer gives up bombs all the time. They got like 28 last year. But, I think like 20 of them were solo home runs. So it's not really killing you.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And I was gonna ask you guys, and Dellin Betances, he really didn't play much at all last year. He was hurt
No.
for most of the year. I think he might have made one or two appearances, or maybe it was his first appearance that he came back and he got hurt.
Yeah.
Um, do you think that loss of Betances affects this bullpen at all? And I know they didn't have him last year, and they were still fared fine, but obviously he's still a good pitcher when he's healthy. He's really good. So do you guys think that's gonna make any difference, or they have enough to get by?
Well, I don't really think it affects too much. Like you said, it's he didn't pitch last year at all, and they were pretty good. So they still got Ottavino. We got Chad Green, who Chad Green can be like if they decide to go like an opener route, they can do that, and then they can also pitch in like middle relief or even like seventh inning type of guy or something like that. But
Yeah.
we got him and Canley. He was really good last year.
Yeah.
And then trying to think who else they have. Well, obviously Chapman.
They still have Britain too, right?
Yeah, Britain and
So I think that's really good there.
and another guy. I mean, I don't know how closely you both follow, Yankees prospects and stuff. This guy's not a prospect anymore because he's 28. But Ben
Yeah.
Heller, he was he's been up with the Yankees. He's had a lot of injury problems. He came back last year after almost a year of being out. But last year he only played in 6 games, but he has had a 1.23 ERA, 9 strikeouts in 7 innings, and his career stats in the MLB only 25 games, but he's got a 2.49 ERA and 24 strikeouts in 25 innings. So that's just another underrated guy who could come in the fifth or sixth if you need someone if the starter can't go the distance. I mean, this guy's never really gotten a chance, and I'd love to see him get a chance this year because he's looked great when he has.
Oh yeah. And another guy I can see even like obviously he's an option in the starting rotation too with the injuries, but Loizaga, I think honestly, I could see him more of like a bullpen type of arm. I don't think he hasn't really pitched well like in the starting rotation. I think he's more of like a guy that can come in like for like long relief or something like that. I think
Yeah,
he would
for
be
sure.
more accustomed to that. So I see what happens in the spring. With all these guys. Let's see what happens with Mike King and who pitches good. So that's going back to the rotation. Like that'll be exciting to watch these the young prospects and like battle out for like the fifth spot. Like Mike King and Davey Garcia, guys like that.
Is there any chance Davey Garcia makes the opening day roster?
If he pitches, I don't see why not.
I think it's definitely possible.
I just hope they don't rush him too soon. That's my concern because he's only 20. He's got time, so I don't want them to bring him up too soon.
Yeah, I could see him like maybe not coming up right away, but like maybe within like a month of the season or something.
Yeah.
I think they'll play it out with Montgomery and Loizaga, like you were saying, along with Happ and obviously Tanaka and Cole. I think that's the way it's going to roll. But what they could do with Loizaga too is use Chad Green as the opener.
Oh yeah,
first or two, and then have Loizaga pitched like say the next 4. This way he's not going to do the lineup more than twice. And then you get into the after that 2 innings of Chad Green, 4 innings of Loizaga, then you get to 7, 8, 9.
Oh yeah.
And do something like that for the 5th spot, if they don't want to bring up Garcia too soon and all that stuff. So, if that's going to be your rotation, Cole, Tanaka, Happ, Montgomery, and then either opener, Loizaga, like kind of mix and match the fifth slot there. A lot of times in the beginning of the season too, there are built-in days off where you might not even need a 5th starter till like the end of April. You know what I mean? Sometimes that happens. So I don't know what the Yankee schedule looks like in particular, but you may not even need that 5th starter spot really to be filled, maybe 2-3 times in the course of the first, say, 2 months of the season.
Yeah.
So right. You don't know, I don't know what this, like I said, I don't know what the schedule looks like, but they might even not even need that 5th starter spot really that much. So if you can piece it together, like I said, with an opener and Loizaga pitches 3 or 4, and then, you mix and match that way, that should be fine. I mean, their offense is even without Stanton. I mean, you didn't have Stanton all year last year anyway.
Right,
They're
exactly.
fine. So, I mean, it's not like they're not going to score any runs. So, I don't think it's that much of an issue. I think it just sucks that, with the injuries right now, at the beginning of the season, it kind of deflates the balloon a little bit, But Yankees dealt with so many injuries last year, and even with Paxton Severino going down, Paxton will be back. You got Cole.
Yeah.
Montgomery's healthy. Same thing with Stanton going down. You didn't have him last year either. You also didn't have Andujar. If Andujar's healthy, now that's another bat in the lineup to kind of take the place of Stanton.
Right.
As far as the lineup goes, Sanchez proves what he did. It can improve on his stuff. You got Torres, LeMahieu, Judge. You're fine. Yankees are fine. Still gonna win.
Oh yeah. Estevan Florial, Alex. I think the Yankees should have moved him or should move him at this next deadline, or do you still think he's someone who's gonna be in a Yankees uniform in a year or two?
I think they'll. I don't know if they'll necessarily move him this deadline, but I think that maybe they'll try to play it out, like see what he does. Like he hasn't really played a full season yet. Like he's been injured, so I think they might just try to play it out this year in the minors. Have him play like I don't know if he'll be. He might see if he can make it up to like at least Double A because he's only been at Single A. So
yeah,
I think they may just try to play it out, see what he does. Maybe. I mean, obviously, if he plays, maybe even if he plays good, like really good, maybe they will sell high on him at the deadline. That's a possibility too. But maybe if they see something good that they like out of him, maybe they'll try to move forward and have him as a potential guy that they have in the outfield. But I think it's something they have to watch play out first before you really think about it.
Yeah, I agree. I don't love his intangibles. He's a low power but high strikeout guy still. I mean, he's very fast, so he's that's good.
Right.
He's a good fielder, and he hits for average. So, I mean, he's fine, but I'm just a little bit worried on how there's prospects like him are going to develop. Obviously, you can't sell now. You couldn't have sold at last deadline because you haven't seen enough from him yet. You can't judge him in rookie ball and in double or in single A. So, but I'm keeping my eye out on him to see if he's the real deal or not.
I'm not a big fan of Florial. I think he's overhyped, and I really don't think he's going to be that good. I honestly think the Yankees should trade him now while he still has the upside. Because honestly, the way I see him as a left-handed Byron Buxton. Speed, good defense, and then Buxton had a lot better plate discipline in the minor leagues, and he got to the majors and couldn't. Florial has no plate discipline now in Single A. It's only going to get worse in general, unless he changes something completely. But if it's pitch recognition already, there's no way he improves that much, especially when he goes up levels, Double A, Triple A majors.
That's what I'm worried about.
That's the thing I don't like about him. He's gonna wind up being, Billy Hamilton with less stolen bases. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? Like maybe a useful outfield, but he's not going to be the stud that everyone was talking about him like a year or two ago. I just don't see it. It's me personally. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, but that's the way I look at him. Like, I think the Yankees should sell high now on him with the upside, because I think a healthy year in Double A, and if the kid hits 220 and strikes out 35, 40% of the time, people are going to be like, well, yeah, he's fast and can play defense, but is he going to hit 200 in the major leagues? How good is that?
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about, looking at how he's done in rookie ball. I mean, if he's striking out 148 times in a season where the highest level he reached is Single A, I'm a little bit worried on how that goes, especially since he only had like 30-something walks to go along with those 148 strikeouts. It's not a good sign for what's to come. Plus, he's 22, which is definitely young, but he still hasn't made it to Double A yet. So if he's struggling with pitch recognition in single A, and he's already 22 and he hasn't even made it to double A yet. Say he makes it to double A this year. Woohoo, he'll be 23 next year and have to make it to triple A. And who's to say he's even good enough in double A to move up to triple A? He could be having even more problems, striking out more, hitting 190. I mean, it's like Nick Gordon with the Twins and watching him on the Red Wings and stuff. Like, he strikes out kind of a lot, and at least Nick Gordon hit somewhere in the 290s last year, but not a lot of power upside, and it's not an exciting prospect for me anymore.
Yeah, Nick Gordon he just doesn't do anything really well.
Yeah.
He's kind of like average across the board at this point. Like, he just doesn't. He's a decent fielder. He's got a little bit of speed, not much pop, can hit a little. Average guy. Like, yeah, he's just not. He doesn't move the needle at all for anybody. So I mean, I feel the same way about him.
Right. And that's another guy that I think should have been sold. The Twins should have sold when they realized what they had, but I guess it's 20. Hindsight is 2020. So.
Well, they were thinking. You know, I think it was with the Twins a couple of years ago. They were thinking, well, Dozier's probably going to leave, which he did. Maybe Nick Gordon will make a jump and become their full-time second baseman. That didn't happen, so they signed Jonathan Scope to a one-year deal. He played decent for the Twins. And then Luis Arias came up last year and hit well. And Nick Gordon is great. And Nick Gordon is still just mired in the minor leagues. Like, he's got nowhere to play. If Arias does last year, he's their starting second baseman. Nick Gordon's got nowhere to go.
Arias is a better Nick Gordon. I mean, that's literally the same archetype of player.
Yeah, they still have Royce Lewis too, who's on his way. He won't be up this year, but I mean, you know, possibility of a call up next year or the year after. I mean, the kid's still only 19, you know, but I mean, he's their big prospect. He's their number one guy, and you know, so Nick Gordon. Oh, I don't, you know, I could definitely see Nick Gordon as part of a package at the deadline for another starter, or you send him somewhere for a bullpen arm at the deadline this year or something like that. Because you got to figure the Twins are going to be in it again. I mean, I haven't picked to win the Central. I haven't picked to win the World Series, but that's just me. You know, I know that way. But, you know, but I mean, 100 wins last year, and it's not like we got any worse. I think we actually got better. I mean, we got Donaldson.
Right.
You know, so.
Yeah.
We were kind of lucky with health last year. So I will say that. We really didn't lose anyone significant for any significant amount of time, especially in the lineup.
Right.
You know, Nelson Cruz hit the 15-day IL, or the 10-day IL once or twice and stuff like that. Like, guys played 130, 140 games. That's fine. But this season, we get a full season of Mitch Garver. We got Donaldson at third, who's a much better fielding third baseman than Sano. Get to move Sano to first. You know, so I think the pitching is where we're going to need the help come the deadline, and we have the minor league pieces to do it. Nick Gordon can throw in, and a bunch of other guys, you know.
Yeah, and I think, like you were saying about Luis Arias, I mean, he's like literally Nick Gordon, what they hoped Nick Gordon would be,
right?
And then some. I mean, I expect a little bit of regression from Arias this year, just because. I mean, he was great last year, and I expect him to be great again this year. He hit 334, only 4 home runs, but that's fine because he struck out 29 times and 326 at-bats and walked 36. It's always better when your walks are higher than your strikeouts. Yeah. I mean, this guy's just a major league hitter already.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And like you said, that's exactly what they thought they were getting with Nick Gordon eventually, and that just never panned out. You know, Arias, I think the average will drop down a little bit. And I think pitchers will make adjustments. He's not gonna hit the ball well. He might strike out a little bit more, but some regression is fine. I mean, I think he had like a 355 BABIP last year. I just don't know if that's gonna last. Right. But if he hits the ball well enough, makes enough contact, and has like a 320 BABIP, drops the average down to 300, I'm fine with that. I mean, that's not, a little bit of regression is fine. You don't expect the guy to runs into 330 every year, but.
I like how the Yankees pod turned into a Twins pod.
Yeah, what the hell is that? Is this Johnny trying to, make it into his own team?
Yeah, wait. Yeah, let's bring it back. Man.
Hang on a minute.
Well, this is Gio's fault. He
How
mentioned
did
Nick
we get
Gordon.
here again? Oh yeah, I did. That
You
is
mentioned
true.
Nick
You
Gordon.
just mentioned Nick Gordon, so I mean,
That's true. Yeah, I'll take the blame.
So Gio baited me into this whole Twins discussion because
right.
Nick Gordon, and of course I hear a Twins player. I got to start talking about the Twins. So
Oh,
you know,
right.
Fair enough.
All right, so let's see. I guess predictions next. Of like, obviously, I think we all think the Yankees are winning the division. I mean, that's not really. I mean, it's kind
Actually,
of.
I got Baltimore, but
Oh yeah, me too. So I'm gonna go 98 wins this year. I don't think they're gonna get 100 this time.
okay.
I'm gonna say they get 100 exactly.
Oh
I'll say they get 100 exactly.
yeah,
I'm gonna say
So they
104. Sorry.
104.
No, sorry.
Go
Yeah.
ahead, Johnny.
No, that's all right. Yeah, I was just saying. Yeah, I think they just take a couple wins off of last year, but I think they're basically the same team.
Yeah.
Like I said, you replace Severino with Cole, you replace Stanton. No one knows how long he's going to be out, but you replace him with a healthy Andujar. You're kind of the same team you were last year.
Yeah.
Another year of Voit, another year of full year of Tachman, Sanchez behind the plate, Torres, DJ LeMahieu, Judge. I mean, you still got Tanaka in the mix there. Montgomery's healthy; he can help lessen the blow of Paxton being out for the first month and a half. I think you guys are basically the same team you were last year. That's why I think 3 less wins than last year. Well, you guys won 103, I think, last year, right?
Yeah, 103. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's about right. I could go 98 or 104, like Gio said too. I mean, I think it's kind of around that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're.
What about?
Oh,
Go
sorry.
ahead, Alex.
I was just saying, I think their floor is like 96. Their ceiling is like 105, 106. I'm gonna say that 106, and then 106 and 96 is where they are. That'd be like between there.
Unless everybody gets hurt.
Oh yeah. Well, even then, it won't be that. I don't think. Well, unless it's the complete opposite. Last year, everybody gets hurt, and then they just don't do anything. Because last
When
year,
is when is Domingo Herman supposed to come off of the restricted list?
I think June.
I think it's June, yeah.
Yeah.
Beginning of June, I believe.
I don't really know if I want him back, but I mean, he really. I mean, people look at it. I don't want him back for moral reasons as well as how he was starting to finish. I think hitters were figuring him out at the end of last year. I mean, he finished 18-4, which is before he got suspended, which is great. But a 4.03 ERA, and then I think towards the end of the season is when hitters started to kind of figure him out more. Because I remember watching games and just being so frustrated because of how he would start games and how it would turn out more towards the end, because he was kind of taking the league by storm, so to speak, to start. And then I won't say he fell off, but he did. His ERA got inflated a little, but he started giving up. I mean, he gave up 30 home runs in 27 or 24 starts last year. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that's a tough call. Like you said, for moral reasons, but I mean, it is what it is. I don't know what to say about it, really. I mean, it's hard to, because, I mean, there are other examples of that in Major League Baseball, too.
Yeah.
They serve their punishment and they get brought back. I mean, you got Chapman on the Yankees right now, Osuna, guys like that. So, I mean, I personally, to me, and it's the same thing with the Hall of Fame voting and stuff, too. I'm not going to be the moral police. You know what I mean? Major League Baseball does their investigation. They deem a certain punishment worthy. Whether you agree with it or not, that's fine. But this is the rule. These are the laws. There are a lot of things. I think I should be able to drive 100 miles an hour on the Mass Pike, but you know what? It's not the law. So if I do it, I get pulled over. I'm going to get a ticket. You know what I mean? So just because I don't agree with the law doesn't mean I don't have to follow it. You know what I mean? So MLB does their investigation on each different instance, like a Herman, Chapman, whatever, and they deem a certain punishment. They serve that punishment. They get to come back. I'm not going to be the moral police and be like, all right, this guy should never be able to do anything except work on a McDonald's again or something like that. I'm not going to be that person. Same thing, like I said, with the whole thing. Yeah, Kurt Schilling's a Nazi and he's a racist and whatever. But you know what? I'm not the moral police. The dude pitched great for 20 years and he should be in the Hall of Fame. I'm not one to play playing God here. So I really don't care. You know what I mean? I want to see if the guy's going to be good for my team or not. That's the way I look at it. I'm not here to judge other people. Fine.
But Aaron Judge is here to judge other people.
Yeah, there you go.
That's true.
All rise.
All right.
Are we doing team MVP?
Yeah, let's do that. I'm going Judge. Speaking of Judge,
I'm gonna take Glaber. Don't think we see too much regression from last year. I don't think pitchers are gonna quote unquote figure him out. I think he's just a major league hitter and he'll keep growing.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go different because Gio, you kind of took my guy because I was gonna go Glaber too. But I'm gonna go because I drafted him in the TGFBI, another plug for my fantasy team. But I'm gonna go LeMahieu. I think he has another great season like he did last year. Especially this is contract year. This is contract year. Don't forget they only signed him in 2 years.
Yeah.
If he has another year like he did last year, he was gonna get paid next year. So I think he's gonna go all out, and I think he's gonna have another year like he did last year. At least I'm hoping. So
right.
Exactly.
And you got to remember too, the dude won 4 Gold Gloves at second base. If he can stick at second base all year and not have to move around the field, don't be surprised if he doesn't win a Gold Glove at second. He won 4 in Colorado, or 3. I think 3 or 4. I can't remember, but so you put a Gold Glove, guy hits 300, 100 runs, 100 ribbies again, and 25 home runs. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
And Team Cy Young, Luis Sessa. I think we'll probably all go in the same direction with this one. I mean,
it's got to be Cole.
Yeah.
Yeah, barring injury.
Right.
It's got to be Cole.
Yeah,
I'm not going to even say anything else.
Yeah. The only other guy that even has a shot, and he's already hurt, is Paxton. Because Paxton can be incredible when he's pitching well and when he's healthy. But I can't see much regret. I could see a little regression from Cole, maybe. Just a tiny bit.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Some guys like that, it doesn't matter what ballpark or where they're playing or who they're playing against. Some guys are just dominant,
Yeah.
Oh my God. I still can't believe the Yankees got him. It's incredible.
I'm so glad. I banked on them either getting him or Strasburg. I was thinking they have to, with how much money they can spend, they have to.
I think they saw Cole as, first of all, a better pitcher.
Right.
Although Strasburg did have, Strasburg's pretty underrated. You look at his stats, he's pretty underrated over his career.
Definitely, I agree.
I mean, the dude's got incredible stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of it together last year. And of course, he got more publicity last year with World Series and the playoffs and everything. But I think they saw Cole as a safer bet, too. If you're going to give a pitcher a 7-8 year deal, you need someone who you feel confident is at least going to give you another 4 or 5 of the first 4 or 5 of those years, good performances. You expect some regression, but when they get older, with someone like Strasburg, who has had injury issues here and there and stuff like that, and Cole really hasn't been hurt.
No.
Right.
Oh, don't.
He was on a DL once when he was with Pittsburgh. He's been pretty solid throughout his career as far as being a workhorse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's about it, though. Other than
it's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah. Just hopefully they can get over the hump this year. Go back to the World Series.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Yeah, you want the Twins, though, Johnny.
Twins aren't ready yet.
No.
Oh, yeah. They weren't ready last year. This year we're gonna do it.
Win the
This
AL
year.
Central, sure. Make it to the World Series, not with that pitching staff.
Oh yeah, we will.
No.
No way.
No way. What are you talking about?
I'll put a bet on that.
I think, honestly, sorry about this, but it's more likely that the Tigers make the World Series than the Twins.
If the Tigers made the World Series, then I mean, I wouldn't even know what to do with myself because I don't think there's a talented person on that. Well, no, I forgot Austin Romine's there, but him and Nico Goodrum are keeping that team alive. Everyone else, it's like, oh boy.
Like I said, Mickey Cabrera, man, fountain of youth.
Yeah.
Turn the clock back about 7 years.
It was funny. I was listening back to like the pod I did with Tom Green for like the preview, and he was like, I need a shirt that says I survived on it for like I survived the 2019 Tigers season. Like
They were so bad. Like, would they win 45 games? I mean,
47. Well, no, was it? Yeah, it was 47. So
yeah, because they have the first pick this year. They had the worst team because Baltimore wasn't even as bad as them. And Baltimore had won 54.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see anyone. I mean, I think the Twins got a fairly easy path to the AL Central. And the Indians just scare me a little bit. Only because I know they lost Kluber. You know, Bauer's not there anymore. They traded him last year. But they still, you know, Clevenger is only going to miss like the first 2 weeks of the season. And the dude's like an ace in the making right now.
Yeah.
You know, if Bieber can build on what he did last year and not have any sort of regression, you know, Aaron Savali, who I like in their pitching rotation, if Carrasco can be healthy, you know, it sucks for him with the leukemia and stuff and all this stuff, but
yeah,
they have a really good rotation.
Zach Plesac's pretty good too.
Yeah, Zach's not bad. He's a more pitch to contact guy, I think, though.
Oh yeah.
But you know, they have decent defense. I mean, their infield is great.
Yeah.
You know, Santana at first, and you got Lindor and Ramirez on the left side of the infield. I just don't know how much more hitting they have.
They need to bring Puke back.
They got Domingo Santana and then Franmil Reyes too, who are two good power guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they got Oscar Mercado, who's meh. He's a speed guy though.
Yeah. Roberto Perez behind the plate's pretty nice though. He had
He's
a good year last year.
Yeah, he's got some power. Who did I have at second?
Cesar Hernandez.
Yeah, I knew they signed someone. That's right.
That's not a bad move. I mean, that's.
Yeah, I mean, it's not average. I don't think he's gonna really hurt you.
No, he's an upgrade for Kipper. That's for sure.
I mean, he hit 280 last year with 14 home runs. It's pretty good.
He's solid. That's the only. I mean, I think the White Sox are overblown in the Central. I think the Twins just have an easier path. Yeah. Obviously, the Royals and Tigers stink, so they're not going anywhere.
You mean the 2020 World Series champion Tigers?
That's right.
I could see Royals Tigers ALCS.
Oh. If that happens, it's time for football.
Yeah. Hey, but don't forget, Kansas City went out and made a big splash move to pick up Maikel Franco. So.
Oh God.
Did they get Franco?
Yeah. The only guy on that. Well, I love Jorge Soler and his 48 home runs last year.
Yeah, led the league.
Him, Hunter Dozier, Whit Merrifield, and Mondesi. And I like Salvador Perez too, but their pitching is getting them nowhere.
Yeah. Who's their ace? Brad Keller?
Yep.
Junis?
Danny Duffy still.
Yeah, I still got him. Yeah, they don't have much. And they got a 98-year-old Ian Kennedy closing games for his last year of his contract, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, their pitching is that's like about the Blue Jays, what I just wrote about the season preview for the Blue Jays. Their pitching is a disaster.
Yeah.
I know they signed Ryu and Roark, but I'm sorry if that's your 1 and 2.
Roark's not good.
Roark's not good, and he hasn't pitched in the AL East. Ryu is coming over, and he's a pitch to contact guy coming to the AL East in a hitter's park. And then you have Matt Schumacher, who's their third starter.
And
Dude's
Chase
made 12
Anderson.
Chase Anderson, Trent Thornton. I mean,
Yeah,
Guy, whatever. What? Just how do we fucking say his name?
Wiggins,
Yeah.
whatever his name.
I don't know.
Wade's back.
They also got the guy from Japan, Shun Yamamoto.
Yeah.
Yamaguchi.
But I mean, and not only that too. Who's their closer this year? Matt McGill,
Ken Giles.
Oh, I'm sorry, Giles. That's right.
Yeah.
But everybody else in their bullpen is horrible.
Giles.
Everyone else in their bullpen consists of Sam Gaviglio, Jake Petricka, Wilmer Font. AJ Cole is this? Yeah.
The Yankee legend, AJ Cole.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. When I said Hirano, I was thinking of Seattle because I just did their preview too. We talk about a bad team.
I told you they don't deserve a preview. I think they're going to be the worst team in the league this year.
You should have just said nothing. You just typed in nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
0 and 162.
Yeah. Definitely.
No, I seriously think they're going to be the worst team in baseball. I don't see how they cannot be.
I still think the Tigers are probably the worst team in baseball. Honestly, the Mariners have, what it is. The Mariners have a little bit of upside because they have a couple guys, position player wise, that could actually make a little noise this year. The kid Jake Fraley, I actually looked into Jake Fraley a little more. That kid could be a stud, man. He's actually not bad. He's actually not bad. I looked at some of his minor league stuff and the scouting reports and everything. He's actually pretty solid. So he could be a solid right fielder. I mean, Malik Smith is garbage in center.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to talk about Kyle Lewis. I mean, we'll see if he moves up a little bit. Evan White, I like a lot at first base. He's another dude. He's almost like a Luke Voigt. Hits the ball hard, right-handed hitter. Like, I think he could put up those type of numbers.
I don't like Shed Long at second.
Shed Long, their lineup's meh. It's their pitching that stinks. Because then, again, Marco Gonzalez, Kikuchi.
Hey, don't forget their ace, Taiwan Walker.
That's right.
They got Justice Sheffield. Come on.
And Nestor Cortez. Yes.
Oh, they have him now?
That's right.
Yeah, we traded him for cash considerations. Him and his 5.8 ERA.
Yeah. Yeah, all the bullpen is a disaster.
Yeah.
But they do have this kid in the minor leagues who's actually been a closer for the past 2 years in the minors. Joey Gerber.
What?
Yeah, Joey Gerber.
The Gerber baby?
Yeah, that's his name. And I was looking at his stuff, like I was doing, because I did 3 players to watch. One was obviously Jared Kalenic, because I think that dude's going to be just an absolute beast.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't know. I just don't think they bring him up until the middle of the year. But they may bring him up earlier. If Malik Smith turns around and hits another 220 in the first half of the season, I mean, but I did Jared Kalenic. They had another starter there that I talked about, but then this other kid, Joey Gerber, stuck out to me. He's like their 17th prospect or something like that, but he's like 23 years old. He saved like 42 games over the past 2 years with like a 2.1 ERA. Like 12 strikeouts per 9, like stuff like he's solid. Big kid. Yeah. Has like a good fastball, wipeout slider. I mean, in the shape of their bullpen as it is now, Hirano, Matt McGill are closing games. You could see this kid up in the middle of the year, and he might actually close like 20 games at the end of the year. Like, they have some kids coming. It's just this year, I think they're going to be atrocious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Mariners pod now?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
This just turns into an AL pod at this point.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. How about Marlins? Let's make it an MLB pod. Yeah, but I mean, the Yankees stuff is pretty cut and dry. I mean, we know who their team is if they're not injured.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Nothing really too much except for, obviously the injuries that happened already.
Yeah. Is that about it then?
Yeah. So. Yeah, I guess they'll do it then. And we only got a few left of these episodes now. I believe it's 5 more teams. So since we continue this until opening day, opening day is March 26th. So now it's a month away. So get excited.
Yeah.
A month from today. I can't wait. A
Yeah.
24-hour pod.
Oh, I wish I could do that. Well, I mean, people will come on for a couple hours.
Yeah. What hours can you come on for?
I'm not sure yet, but
Okay.
probably like afternoon.
Yeah, that'll be fine. Yeah. Just come on one of the blocks or whatever.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah. That's gonna be really fun. I have it like set up like there's a thing online like you can like stream from like all these different things at the same time. Like stream from YouTube, Facebook, Twitter.
Oh wow, cool.
So so if somebody like goes on Twitter, sees that like it's not just one thing. It's like only one, if it's only like YouTube, then not many people could see it because they only like if they're not going on YouTube or whatever.
Yeah.
Then we can get people that happen to just be scrolling through Twitter and they'll be like, "Oh shit, this podcast is doing a 24-hour show."
Yeah, exactly.
And then especially with it's 24 hours, people are gonna be going on social media all day, so there'll be probably a lot of people will be looking at it.
Right.
That's gonna be crazy. I'm gonna have my coffee pot just plugged in right next to me.
You're gonna fill up a freaking jug of Red Bull.
Oh yeah, I'll be just like. I haven't done this in a while. Like I said, I might have to take a nap if we can get like a nice 2-hour block of like a few of you guys on at one point. I mean, I just bow out for like 2 hours and take a nap and then come back on.
I think I could probably stay up. Like, obviously, I'm not I'm not calling you old or anything, but I'm saying I'm young. So I mean, I could probably stay up for that whole time.
Yeah, I might be able to. I don't know. I haven't pulled like a 24-hour thing in a long time, so.
Yeah. I haven't done it in a while either, actually. Probably since like high school, I haven't done it. So it's been like 3 years. 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
I might be able to do it.
Yeah. I mean, why not do it for the pod?
Yeah. Suck it up.
have too much pod tower.
There you go. Can never have too much pod tower.
I guess that's where we'll leave this show. Check us next preview episode. Which one it'll be, because it's so hard to find all these people that can come on for like the fans. So see if what I work out, but that'll be the next one. And we might have another one between that if we end up having another one tomorrow night or whatever. So
yeah,
we'll see. But yeah, check us out next time. Check all the episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere, pretty much anywhere that you find a podcast. We have all the other previews up, and during the season we'll have weekly shows probably. So yeah, and as Johnny said, you can never have too much pod tower.